Okay. Hi, everyone, and welcome to Thrive Mind Body, my wellness platform for women that delivers the best evidence-based mindset and nutritional therapy tools so that week on week, we are taking small but mighty steps forward in supporting your stress resilience. Part of the offering in Thrive Mind Body is the chance to hear from experts that can help give us more tools to help us achieve our wellness goals. And so this season, our focus is on adrenal health and stress resilience. And to that end, I've invited Alessandro from Sorso Wellness Water to talk to us about water. Drinking our optimal water allowance is one of the prerequisites for strong adrenal health because our sister organ in supporting the adrenals is the kidneys. They help us purify the body, and in so doing, they help us build mental clarity and help us build that stress resilience that we're looking for. So a quick little background on Alessandro. He is an expert in the water filtration and purification world and knows the importance of having access to pure and healthy water. He is a third generation entrepreneur in the water filtration business and has owned a company for over 14 years, specializing in water treatment. He's worked with industry leaders and health professionals to really kind of better understand the difference between clean water and healthy water. So using this knowledge, he's created solutions that are proven to be beneficial to one's overall health and well-being while protecting the home and building infrastructure. Alessandro is super passionate about improving water quality and safety, as well as reversing the environmental impact of the water industry. So his desire is to create a positive impact in these areas on a global level. So welcome, Alessandro. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Now, you and I know each other because you installed my home's water filtration system back in 2019, and I've been raving about it ever since. So when I wanted to bring an expert to talk about water, obviously my first thought was to talk to you. So thank you so much for coming. And there are a few kind of just topics that I want to address with you. The first one being, water is one of those few things that we can all do for free. It doesn't entail, anything fancy. You just kind of open the tap and drink it. But despite how easy it is to access, a lot of my clients just don't put it into practice, right? In fact, less than, I think, 20% of my clients report drinking the amount of water that they should be drinking over the course of the day. And I also struggled with water intake. And it was because I didn't like the way that it tasted coming out of the tap. And a lot of my clients report the same. They're like, oh, it tastes bad. I smell the chlorine, this, that, the other. So the first question I want to ask you is, why does my water taste so good now? What can we do to improve the taste of water?
All right. So what our system does, and why it tastes so good is because of the minerals that we're adding back to the water, specifically the magnesium and the calcium and the potassium that we add back. But I'll explain to you a little bit about what the system does, so you can understand really why the water is so good. The first part of our system, the most important part, would be the purification, where we remove all contaminants out of the water, all dissolved solids, like fluoride, hormones, pesticides, trace pharmaceuticals, heavy metals, obviously chlorine, any bad tastes and odors. Everything is completely purified and removed, and we do that with a high efficiency reverse osmosis membrane. It does the best. It does the best job at actually purifying the water and removing contaminants. Unfortunately, it can't distinguish between the good and the bad. It removes everything because there are some good minerals in the water that we do need. So the system will then remove everything. Then where our big differentiator is where we remineralize the water. We add back the calcium, magnesium, potassium, which gives that great taste.
Mm-hmm.
And we ionize the water, and we make the water healthier. But to answer your question, the taste comes from the minerals. That's where the
Right.
taste comes from.
Right. And just on that point, then we're going to talk about ionization in a little bit, because I just want to make sure that we all understand what that means. But my understanding is that when you add back these minerals, it also makes the water a little bit more alkaline. So can you take us through, the difference between acidic water and alkaline water?
Right.
Is the tap water coming out of the tap, is that acidic, and can we benefit from more alkaline water?
Right. So we'll start with tap water. Tap water is neutral, and the cities ensure that the water is neutral to protect the infrastructure. Because if the water were acidic water is very aggressive and corrosive and can cause pinhole leaks and damage the infrastructure. So imagine what it could do to our bodies.
Well, that's great to know, because I love how you demystified that point for us, because I know a lot of people think that the tap water is acidic, but it's not, it's neutral.
Correct. Now, highly purified water, if you want to compare it to bottled waters on the market, like Dasani or Aquafina, those have been through the reverse osmosis process. But have not been remineralized and are acidic. Right. So the problem with that is, because it's so aggressive and corrosive, it's actually stripping the plastic into the water. It's eating away at the plastics.
Right.
So it's not beneficial for us to be drinking, obviously microplastics and this acidic water. And obviously, that the more acidic our bodies are, the higher chance for diseases to live and thrive in an acidic environment.
Yeah.
It's important that we stay as alkaline as possible. Our system naturally remineralizes the water with these minerals to create an alkaline state. And it's not for us to get nutrition from the minerals that we're adding back. Water's main purpose is to hydrate us and is to stimulate muscle, actually. And our heart is a muscle. And actually, according to the World Health Organization, they've made, there's a report that spoke of a direct correlation between demineralized water and cardiovascular health. So it's very important. And so the alkaline water is helping us, ease that stress off of our body, helping our bodies keep our balance, our pH balance. So taking that hard work away from our body and having our bodies concentrate on other things. So that's really what the main importance is of having alkaline water.
I love what you said. And every time I talk to you, I learn something new. I think I need to have you back in June when I do my stress resilience mind body program and with a focus on heart health and cardiovascular health, because I love that point that you made there on how alkaline water really just supports our heart health too. I mean, that's an amazing point. And I want to now just kind of move on to that point of ionization, because before speaking to you and before learning about water filtration and all that kind of thing, I didn't know that there was a difference between drinking water and hydrating with water, right? Like, that to me is a really interesting point, because it explains as well why so many of my clients, they're like, but I drink water and it's not really satisfying. I don't find it refreshing. Like, I'd rather choose like a carbonated beverage, or I'd rather like have a cup of tea, or I don't know. They're like, I just don't get that hydrating feeling when I drink water. So tell us a little bit about that. What is the difference between drinking water and hydrating with water, and how can a water filtration or a water filter, then that adds back these minerals can help us achieve hydration, better hydration.
So the ionization that our system does is so water is really the only thing that can help us like truly detoxify at a cellular level. So the ionization process enhances this detoxification, and it does that by breaking the water molecule. So picture a big water molecule, breaking that water molecule into smaller clusters. So you have an array of water molecules, which increases the water's ability to absorb and to penetrate our body at a cellular level to help us detoxify. And the more hydrated we are, the easier it is for our bodies to detoxify.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's why it was important for us to have that element in our system to ionize the water naturally. I reiterate that part naturally because there are different types of ionizations processes, different ways of ionizing the water. You can do it electronically, or you can do it naturally. And the way we do it is through they're bioceramic stones that give off a natural infrared ray, which breaks the water molecule into smaller clusters and ensures that we're not changing the DNA structure of the water as well, which causes issues with us our bodies accepting specific types of water as well. Yeah.
So when our body accepts it, we're better able to hydrate with it, right? Because it's really impacting us at the cellular level, rather. Did I understand that right?
Yes.
Awesome. That is fascinating, actually. So I want to then go back to what you said about the water, or the sort of clean or filtered water that we get from bottled water. And I want to just, because one of the big sort of water filtrations people use is like the Brita, right? I know I see that in people's fridges all the time. So I wondered if you could take us through the pros and cons of some of the kind of major or different water filter systems out there. Like, the way that I see people consuming water is, either through the tap, or they have a Brita water filter system, or they're drinking bottled water. So take us through like the pros and cons there of what we're doing.
Right. So, I mean, taking any step to better the water quality in your home is great. So, even most people do start with a Brita. The Brita, what the Brita is basically it's carbon filtration. So there's these small cartridges, which many of you are familiar with, which should be changed every 3 months.
Yeah, that's really important because I hear they can go moldy, right?
Right, they can go moldy because they're absorbed. They're sitting there first of all, but they're also absorbing a lot of chemicals, and there's a certain like max that they can withhold, and then you're just you're adding stuff on top, right? So what a carbon filtration does is it absorbs that amount. It'll absorb some bad tastes, some odor, some chlorine, just some things like that. So it's just really a small filtration that we use as a pre-filter to prepare the water. So you only handle some bad taste and odor, and some chlorine out of the water. That's why it changes the taste when you put it through a Brita.
Okay.
You do, it is a pitcher, and you're filling it up, and you have to wait for the water to filter. So it's not an on-demand solution, and so there are some inconveniences there, and you're not removing dissolved solids as you would with the purification process.
And is it neutral water that we're getting in the Brita, or is it slightly acidic?
It's neutral water.
It's still neutral water.
It doesn't change pH. It doesn't change pH. Then you have, reverse osmosis systems, let's say. Those reverse osmosis systems do a really good job at stripping the water and removing all contaminants, but they remove too much. They're removing the essential minerals that we discussed, and they create this acidic water. And they're installed similarly to how our Sorso Premio would be installed. So there aren't the added health benefits in terms of the reverse osmosis system.
Mm-hmm.
The one many people compare to, most people compare to ours,
Mm-hmm.
would be the Kangen system.
Right.
The Kangen
Yes,
system,
I did look at that one too. Mm-hmm.
so the Kangen system is an electric ionizer, and to the point where it does change the DNA structure of the water, like I previously mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
But the Kangen water system is a countertop system, so it sits on your counter, and it'll filter the water first, so it doesn't purify the water, so you're not removing all contaminants, and then it'll electrically ionize the water.
Mm-hmm.
It does do a good job at ionization, but electronically. But the biggest thing is you're actually ionizing contaminants. So it's important to purify the water first, before removing all contaminants before you ionize the water. So those are the main three, I think, systems that people look at in terms of for installation in their homes.
Okay. That's good to know. I mean, to be honest, I actually didn't choose the Kangen. I didn't know at the time about the difference between, the electronically ionizing the water and everything, but I just found that on the countertop to be so burdensome. That's why I didn't go for it in the end. I like the convenience of having something under the sink that I didn't see and that I wouldn't have to clean or or anything like that. But yeah, thank you for going through that with us. And I mean, what I installed in my home, just for the benefit of everybody, I installed like a home filtration system, and then I have a separate water drinking tap. And certainly from like even the home water filtration system that we installed, the primary reason I installed it was because my daughter tends to suffer from eczema, particularly if she's like really stressed. She gets little flare-ups, and then she goes to take a shower and the chlorine in the water really hurts her and everything. So if any of you are suffer from skin issues, or you have like skin flare-ups of psoriasis or eczema during periods of high stress, getting a home filtration system can also just help with that. And can you speak to that a little bit, Alessandro, about the benefits of having softer water come through the home?
Yeah, so for sure, like living in a municipality, a municipal water, it's really important to remove the chemicals that they are using to treat our water, specifically chlorine and chloramines, another disinfectant that is found in our water here, specifically in Toronto. I mean, you're going to get the added benefit of removing those chemicals, so you're protecting your body from absorbing that when you're taking a shower or bathing. And softening the water is going to really protect your infrastructure, your home. It's good for your hair and skin, because you're removing the calcium, so you're not going to get any buildups, any spots on your shower glass or your fixtures. You'll save 75% on soaps and detergents because the water's so soft.
I have noticed that, actually. I mean, I have noticed that I don't need as much like shampoo or, like that kind of thing.
Yeah, you don't need as much shampoo because it'll set up quicker.
Yeah.
Your clothes will last longer. The colors are brighter. So the most important is removing the chemicals from the water. So you don't get any irritations, or even if you don't get any irritations or you don't see anything. Some people are more sensitive than others. You still are absorbing everything through your skin, your largest organ.
For sure. And isn't it crazy? I mean, our largest organ is our skin, and we don't really think about what we put on it quite often. So yeah, no, for sure.
Sure. And I kind of want to touch back at our system, at the system that we're talking about. So I wanted to finish off where I was. The actual, so after we remineralize the water, and after we ionize the water, the minerals that we're adding back are actually emitting a molecular hydrogen and adding back this antioxidant effect to the water as well, which is very important. And that's what really gives the water its health benefits is this last stage. And a lot of people might say, there are a lot of companies on the market that will remineralize the water and add back minerals.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
We're adding back inorganic minerals in rock form, nothing from animals or anything like that. They're all natural, healthy rock minerals. The minerals, the filters that we use ensure that we're not adding back any heavy metals. You have to be careful. There's a lot of products that are even FDA approved or non-FDA approved that are adding back heavy metals back to the water, toxins. Mm-hmm. So we ensure that the materials we're using are at the utmost highest quality. Everything is NSF approved, very safe to drink, but not just safe, very healthy to drink. All the components that we're adding to our system, we took them in consideration to say, hey, they're not going to compromise the quality of our water. The materials were the most important thing. The materials we're using must not compromise the quality of the water. Even if we're doing a fantastic job of purifying, we got to make sure that we're not adding back anything negative, and that the materials are really not going to compromise the quality of the water. That was really important for me to say. Sorry.
Yeah, no, and I really appreciate that you did say that, particularly within the context of adrenal health, because quite often what I see, particularly in women's adrenal health, is when the adrenals aren't working optimally or when they're struggling. We often end up seeing as well sort of the thyroid struggling as well, and we end up seeing generally hypothyroid symptoms in women. And heavy metals is a really important thing to kind of mitigate exposure to when we're trying to protect the thyroid and the adrenal organs. So thank you so much for pointing that out, because, within the context of what we're trying to do this season in Thrive Mind Body, which is really to build stress resilience by supporting adrenal health, making sure that we are, nourishing ourselves with the least amount of toxins as possible is super, super important to take that pressure off the body. Because at the end of the day, we're stressed out enough as it is. We don't need to add to that stress with, the water that we're drinking, right? So thank you so much for all of that insight and for sharing all of that knowledge with us. It's always a great conversation with you, Alessandro. So thanks so much for sharing all that with us today. To our members, if you've got any questions for Alessandro, I will share his contact details in the chat. Sorso Wellness Water installs filters across Canada. So if you're interested in learning more about Sorso Wellness Water, or even if you just want to have like a no obligation chat, I'm sure Alessandro would be happy to talk to you. He's also kindly offering a discount of $200 off of his water filtration systems to all of our Thrive Mind Body members. So I'm really excited and grateful that you've offered that. Thank you so much, Alessandro. That is an amazing benefit to our members should they wish to take you up on it. So thank you again. I'm going to share your contact details in the comments below. And anything else you kind of want to say before we close off?
That's it. I'm good. Thank you so much.
Oh, don't know why I pressed the pull button. All right. Well, look, thank you so much for joining us today. And yeah, I think I'm going to have you back in the summer when we talk about heart health. I love that comment that you made. All right. Thank you so much.
All right,
I'm going to stop the recording now. There we go.